top 10 songs of 2023. Once again, this is just my opinion. These are the songs that I went back to the most. It's even in my top, my list of 2023 streamed, basically the 2023 songs that were released most streamed. So top 10 songs of 2023. Number 10, and I mentioned this track already through the top 10 albums, Jeezy, No Complaining. Reason why, I just kept going back to this track. When I bumped the Jeezy album, I bumped it probably 2 or 3 weeks after it got released, and this track just kept going back to, I ain't doing no complaining. Dubs is banging. I ain't doing, I don't know what the fuck he says, bro. I got to remember some of these bars, but the beat, like I said, reminds me of like a Disney, like when like a fucking Disney character is going to sleep or some shit like that. Overall, it reminds me of the old Jeezy in 2008 with the recession. Like, I need a vacation, like those type of tracks. I ain't doing no complaining. I done came a long way back then when me and you was hanging. I ain't doing no complaining. Yeah, so you fucking kill this shit. The money talking like it's Chris, talking balling like I'm in the rocket. So overall, man, I think if you haven't heard this track, check it out. I went back to it 90 million times. Really loved it. Jeezy, really, like I said in the album, back in his bag, man. If you haven't heard the Jeezy album, bump it. Jeezy's back on track when it comes to music, at least, because he missed for a while. So number 10, No Complaining. Number 9, this track fairly recently was released, like very recently. Juice WRLD and Eminem, Lace It. Here are the reasons why I put this track in number 9. One, this talented motherfucker, Juice WRLD, still has such amazing music after all these years he's passed away. Like, this guy had so much great, like, this track is fucking amazing. Like, the melodies in it, like, it's a track that just, roll it up, lace it, like, it just, this guy was, it's a shame he's passed away, man. It's a shame, because this guy was so fucking talented. The fact that he had all this music in his hard drive, just this insane hooks and these, a bunch of tracks, bro, like, all these projects that released posthumously, like, that alone deserves a huge salute. Love the track. And then Eminem, to me, if I was doing a top 10 featured, like, artists that did features this year, I would put this featured verse probably top 3. Eminem nailed it. Like, I talked about this on the podcast a couple episodes ago. Eminem spoke his experience that he actually went through and then saluted everybody that went through it and gave them condolences and their flowers. And then the way he ends it off, like, you know, I ain't trying to, like, lecture you younger generation, but be careful when you, and then it goes, roll it up, lace it, like the Juice WRLD hook, which is just a fire way to end it. And Eminem's, you know, he's a lot older. He's like, I'm not trying to be an old guy, like, saying, oh, don't do this, don't do that, but just be careful. He's like, if you're going to dibble and dabble into these drugs. And that's a good way to send a message, man. If young kids are looking up to Eminem or these newer artists, you know, look up to Eminem, you know, that would be something that, you know, it's a shame because Juice WRLD looked up to Future a lot. And that's why he even admitted that's why he got into drugs, because Future was talking about drugs a lot. But he was also a fan of Eminem and knew that Eminem almost died from drugs. So I wish he would have gravitated more towards the Eminem thing and realizing that drugs aren't that good and that you could potentially die from them. I wish that would have been more of the path. I wish Eminem would have been involved in Juice WRLD's career a lot more, because maybe that would have changed things. Maybe. I'm not saying that Eminem would have saved the guy's life and told him to get off drugs and he would have been, you know, perfectly fine. But I mean, from somebody of that stature to say, hey man, this, you know, I know you like to dibble and dabble in these things, but be very careful. You know, maybe it would have planted a seed in Juice WRLD's head and been like, you know what, I'm not doing this stuff anymore. Because he did look up to Future. He said that's the reason why he got into drugs, and Future doesn't even do drugs like that, you know. So it's a huge, heavy influence. I talked about this on Twitter, actually, or on X, whatever. And, you know, people were debating with me and saying, oh, that's not Future's fault. I'm like, I'm not blaming Future for it. At the end of the day, Juice WRLD made his own decision. But kids are impressionable. So when you're rapping about drugs and these things, know that kids that look up to you will probably dibble and dabble with it. Me as a kid, I didn't. But then again, I had a great foundation, great family, close to my family, tight-knit. Other kids that grow up don't have that. They don't have a father figure and an influence in their life. So they'll dibble and dabble. Me, I was listening to 50 Cent, shooting, killing. I never got into that stuff. Never got into the gangster stuff. Never sold drugs. Never shot people. None of that stuff. So it's different. You know, everybody grows up in a different household, different things. So I really love this track, man. I think I wish we would have got more Juice WRLD and Eminem tracks. But this was a nice treat to end off the year. I think it was very, like, underrated. Just randomly dropped. I didn't even know it dropped till, like, probably a day after, 2 days after. So Shout out to this track. Number 9 on the list. Number 8, Lloyd Banks' Voices. This is the track that got me emotional, I think, on live. Hearing voices in my head. Like the fucking sample in the back. I forgot who produced it, man. But shout out to the person that produced it. I love this track, man. I kept going back to this. I've had friends do me dirty. I've had people, especially this year, somebody did me dirty, and this is one of those tracks I'll listen to. And you deal with a lot of problems in life, and this is one of those tracks that speaks to me, speaks volumes to me, and very underrated track, man. I think if anything from Banks this year, if you're gonna listen to, if you said, you know what, I didn't listen to Banks, I wasn't really checking for him, I'm gonna check out a track of his that dropped, in 2023. Check out Voices. Easily, like I said, top 10, my favorite. I went back to it millions of times, and yeah, it just got me in my feels, man. Even when I was live on YouTube, it got me in my feels. So that is track number 8. Number 7, Beep Beep. Is that bleep? Is that you talking to me? Is that yeah? Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. And the reason why I added, you guys know why I added this. Come on, man. 50 Cent was featured on it. I think 50 did his thing. If you look at the comments on the song, because I sometimes check out YouTube's comments just to see what people are saying. A lot of people miss 50 in his voice and rapping. I feel like, he needs to release an album. Hopefully in 2024 he does, but love this track. I'm glad Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent collaborated finally. Felt it was long overdue. I wish they would have done it earlier, but they finally did it, and it was a great collaboration. I feel like the track's super short, but other than that, loved it. I kept bumping it, going back to it, like literally, the day it got released. I actually didn't listen to the day it got released because I was waiting on YouTube Live, but never ended up going live, so I ended up listening to it. Every day I've been bumping it. It's like already reached my top 10 on the list of 2023 in terms of songs that I've been listening to on the Apple playlist. So shout out to Nicki Minaj and 50. Killed it. Love the track. Number 7. Number 6. This is an underrated song overall. Didn't see on anybody's list. The song didn't really do much of an impact in terms of charts. And I was surprised, to be honest with you. When I heard this song initially, when the artist previewed it on TikTok, I was like, this is going to go. They dropped it, shot the video. Nothing really happened with it. Unfortunate. I'm going to actually check the charts on this, if it even charted. Number 6, Ray Shremmerd, Not So Bad. This song basically samples Eminem's Stand record. And they did their thing, man. And it's a song about drug addiction, basically, and beating it. Because if you look even in the comments, people are like, man, this song got me through a lot of stuff. Reminds me of the days when I was so, so addicted to lean, to drugs, whatever. And they killed it, man. I think it's a very underrated track. I just kept bumping the shit out of it over and over. My lean's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. 3.5 clouds up my window, and I can't see it all. And even if I could, it would all be great. But these racks stack up too tall. Yeah, so anyways, I fucked that up. But it reminds me that it's not so bad. Killed it. Great, Stan type of sample. I loved it. I'm surprised. I wish Eminem would have done a remix to it or something like that, or just wish Eminem talks about it. But it's amazing, man. I think they did. It's not obviously as good as Stan. I'm not even getting close to it, but I think they did the sample justice. I think they did a more modern version of what kids would understand, and just kind of more of today's time. I think it was done perfectly. I had no problems with that. Kept bumping it over and over and over again to the point where my friend got annoyed with me constantly saying my lean's gone cold, even though I don't drink lean. So that is number 6 on my list, and it is underrated. It's a track that's underrated, so I had to feature on there. Top 5. Number 5, Killer Mike, Scientists and Engineers, featuring Andre 3000, Future, and Aaron Allen Kane. First off, it makes me miss Andre 3000. This is the whole Dungeon Dragons, the history that Killer Mike, Andre, and Future have, which is really cool. Throughout the years, they finally got on track together, rapped. Production is out of this world. Andre 3000's delivery, breath control, everything that he does on the fucking track, the guy is just, I'm surprised he doesn't make a rap album. I think he doesn't want to because he doesn't want it. He does a once a year, he does a feature and fucking kills and knocks out the park and drops one of the best verses of the year and then just disappears and decides to do a flute album. And like he says, he doesn't have anything to rap about. But look, you drop verses like this, and you're talking about you ain't got nothing to rap about. Come on. Even if it was a 10-track album, 6-track album, hip-hop album, something. Give us an EP, 5 tracks, something. That's one of the reasons why I featured it. Killer Mike obviously did his thing. I think the album overall, Michael, a lot of people praised it. A lot of people had it on their top 10 list. To me, I don't know. To me, it had a, it's not like a bad album, but it wasn't like anything that I was constantly going back to. This track I was constantly going back to. Future even delivered. And then even like, the singer did her thing or his thing, Aaron Allen Kane. Scientists and Engineers, great album title too, man. Not album title, sorry, song title. Very, very dope. You don't really see song titles like that, honestly, in hip hop. So, yeah, I just kept going back to the track, and Andre 3000 is the one that kind of grabbed me in. Future did his thing as well as Killer Mike. So, overall, I think it's an underrated track, to be quite frank. Even though his albums were getting praised everywhere, I think the track itself should get a lot more praise. So, that is my number 5 track. Number 4, Drake First Person Shooter. I was debating replacing this with the Drake Away From Home track, because I was bumping Away From Home just as much as I was bumping First Person Shooter. But then I realized First Person Shooter, just with the video as well, it added more to it, and I really enjoyed the music video. And then Cole did his thing, Drake did his thing. I actually didn't like Drake's verse initially, but it got better and better. It just got more and more intriguing to me and interesting. And they killed it, man. They did their fucking thing. I wouldn't mind a Drake and J. Cole collab album in 2024. Even though I'm tired of hearing Drake, I tell him to fucking retire for at least a couple of years. The guy won't retire. He's going to drop more music, and he just, I don't know if next year he's going to drop the collab album with J. Cole. Do I want that? No. Would I care if we got it? Yeah, I'll obviously listen to it. I mean, Drake and J. Cole doing their thing, man. So, constantly went back to this track, loved it. Both delivered. I think obviously J. Cole did his thing more than Drake, but overall fire track. Number 4. Top 3. Number 3, Yo Gotti, No Fake Love. We was selling drugs. Like I said, man, I talked about this earlier when I was talking about the album being in the top 10 list. This track perfectly paints Yo Gotti as a boss and all the shit he's going through, and the fact that he got the woman of his dreams, and the fact that he has this amazing, huge record label and still doing his thing, and reminding people they're still street. I packed the thing in the Rolls Royce. Don't be trying to pull up on me. You can get your ass shot. So that's what I love about this track. It's such a boss record, and to me, like, I don't know. I love the track, man. It has meaning behind it. No fake love, So come on. To me, I just kept going back to it, and wouldn't stop bumping it. So to me, that is number 3, No Fake Love. Number 2, All My Life. All My Life. I don't know why Lil Durk sounds like that on the track, but Lil Durk, All My Life, featuring J. Cole. This song brought me back to like the early 2000s when there would be kids on hooks. Like, this is kind of a bad example, but R. Kelly, what was the song? One Wish, or what was the song called? I think it was One Wish. I wish. I'm thinking about Ray J, One Wish. If I had one wish, I'm talking about I wish. Like, that's, I miss that like early 2000s vibe. And I like the route that J. Cole took on this. It's not about like violence, it's more about changing his image, and he even says it on the track. And J. Cole obviously kills it, does his thing. J. Cole, 2023, to me, was the best featured artist of 2023. I don't even have to make a list because Lil Wayne was up there too. But if I did a list for that, I'd have J. Cole at number 1. He was just all over the place doing his thing, and this track to me bumped the shit out of it. Even though Dirk sounded funny saying "All My Life," it sounded like a fucking Elmo or some shit. But yeah, love the track, man. I think it went number 1. It was close to getting number 1. I wish it would have gone number 1 for Lil Durk's sake, so he can get a number 1 record again. But the fact that Dirk was leading this track instead of the time that he got like a top number 2 track was like with the Drake song. It was Drake featuring Lil Durk. Fuck, I forget the title of the track. I forgot the fucking title. Why am I forgetting a bunch of titles of tracks? But yeah, he got number 2 on this because of this track, and it's his lead song. So that's a huge, huge accomplishment. So I hope we get a Lil Durk and Kendrick Lamar track. He's gotten Drake, he's gotten J. Cole. I don't know if Lil Durk and Kendrick Lamar have done a track together. I might be tripping. They might have done a track together. Lil Durk, Kendrick Lamar. If they did, I probably ain't even fucking. Nah, they didn't do a track together, did they? Nevermind featuring Kendrick Lamar? For real? Nah, that's not real. That can't be real because it wasn't on the. Nah. Anyways, I would like that as well. So, yeah, shout out to Lil Durk. Dope track, All My Life. Number 1. This track makes me want a collab album from these 2 artists because they did so well in this track. And the fact that this track has 10 million views on YouTube and no music video with no promo. I'm telling you, this song just randomly dropped. No promo. 10 million views on YouTube. No music video, no promo. The fact that it's pulled in that many numbers and the fucking label or whatever hasn't gotten behind it is astonishing to me. The track that I'm talking about is T.I. Active featuring Kevin Gates. I get active, I get active, I get active. First, Kevin Gates comes out the gate swinging. It gets me hyped up. It's one of those tracks that just, man, I can not stop fucking. The beat is out of this fucking world. And then T.I., so the hook is amazing. Kevin Gates comes out swinging, and then T.I. finally raps. And this is around the time when T.I. was beefing with Boosie. He had a little issue with Boosie. So he addresses Boosie on this in a very aggressive way, and I loved it. That added more to me enjoying the track. And then the artwork is just, bro, it's two lions. It's fucking fire. Two lions on the artwork, and they both, T.I. and Kevin Gates complimented each other so well on this track together that I would love, first off, fucking shoot a music video to this and promote this track more. Second, I would not mind a T.I. and Kevin Gates collab album. Oh, I would welcome that like fucking Eminem and 50 dropping a collab album. I would welcome that like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar dropping a collab album. I would welcome that like any other collab album that I have on my wish list. It is a crime that this track has so many views and no promo. Like, it's a crime. It's literally a crime. Let me see if it even charted. I think I wanted to look at the, let's see if it even charted. Because it was supposed to, I think it was supposed to be a single for T.I.'s album. What was it? The head, what do you say? The King's Crown or some shit. What is his last album? It's like Head, Crown, Fall Off or something like that, or I don't know. But I Get Active. I don't know how much numbers this song is pushed on streaming, but 4.8 million streams. And on YouTube, it's got over 10 million views. Love this song, man. If you haven't heard the song, please listen to it. This is, Kevin Gates to me has missed a lot musically for the past like year and a half, 2 years, I think. When did he release the I'm Him album? Because that was like the last time I really fucked with him. Now he's been kind of releasing music. It's been you know, I've been a big fan of Kevin Gates, bumped a lot of his music, love a lot of his projects. I even consider one of them a classic, which I don't use the word classic lightly, but Kevin Gates hasn't been like, I'm Him was released in 2019, so yeah, it's been a minute, man. Kaza was all right. Kaza, it had a couple tracks here and there, but that album wasn't that good. I think he missed a lot on that. I think, yeah, it was around, I started bumping. I love Kevin Gates all the way from 2013 till 2019/2020. Once after 2020, kind of the music got a little all right. Like, it had records here and there. Like, he would drop things here and there that was fire, but musically, like, this is the Kevin Gates I want. If you listen to the Active record, I love those type of records from Kevin Gates. Aggressive, hard-hitting, amazing lyrics, just delivers. Like, everything's perfect. So, to me, I kept going back to this track over and over and over again. So that is my number one song in hip-hop of 2023. So let's go over the list. Number 10, Jeezy, No Complaining. I ain't doing no complaining. Number 9, Juice WRLD and Eminem, Lace It. Roll it up, lace it. Lloyd Banks, Voices in my head. Number 7, Nicki Minaj, Beep, Beep, Is That Deep? Featuring 50 Cent. Ray Shremmerd, Not So Bad. Number 6, Not So Bad. Killer Mike, Scientists and Engineers. Number 5, Drake, First Person Shooter with J. Cole. Number 4, Yo Gotti, No Fake Love. Number 3, Lil Durk, All My Life, J. Cole. Number 2, T.I. Active with Kevin Gates. And that is my list. And let me know what you guys think, man. Send me messages, send me comments, hate if you want, disagree. I read all the comments, by the way, guys. Even if you're disagreeing with me, as long as you have a valid reason, you're like, you know. But at the end of the day, guys, it's just opinions. Like, you guys can have your own opinions. I respect it. I don't, you know, it's what you listen to, man, what you enjoy. This is my list. I feel like I had a balance of a lot of different styles of hip-hop, like I always do. Forgot to mention honorable mention. So, Lil Durk, Pellico, honorable mention. Drake, I Don't Give a Fuck, and Away From Home. Gunna, Fuck You Mean. Key Glock, fucking featuring Ratchet, Benny the Butcher, and Lil Wayne. Big Dog, and I had a bunch of others, but I don't think WordPress didn't save it, because I had a couple of others on here. I remember a lot more, actually, but I didn't have it saved. It just, because the computer I think I shut it down without even saving shit. So regardless, that's my list. Let me know what your guys' list are. Drop a comment, send me messages, whatever. Discord, shout out to Anthony. He dropped his top 10 list. I appreciate that a lot. So drop your list on Discord if you're on there. Drop your list, messages to me, comments on this podcast if you're watching the video version. Even on the audio, I think you can comment on some parts depending on where you're at. But that's my list.